proud to be Anakin Skywalker's best friend. R2, what's the signal? Where's that signal? From its socket beside the cockpit, R2D2 whistled and beeped. Translation spied across Anakin's console readout, scanning, lots of ECM signal jamming. Keep on it. He glanced at Obi-Wan's starfighter, limping through the battle, 100 meters off his left wing. I can feel his jitters from all the way over here. A toodle. A Jedi is always calm. He won't think it's funny, neither do I. Less joking, more scanning. For Anakin Skywalker, starfighter battles were usually as close to fun as he ever came. This one wasn't, not because of the overwhelming odds or the danger he was in. He didn't care about odds, and he didn't think of himself as being in any particular danger. Few wings of droid fighters didn't much scare a man who'd been a pod racer since he was 6 and had won a Boonta Cup at 9, who was, in fact, the only human to ever finish a pod race, let alone win one. In those days, he had used the Force without knowing it. He'd fought the Force with something inside him, just a feeling, an instinct, a string of lucky guesses that led him through maneuver other pilots wouldn't dare attempt. Now, though, now he could reach into the Force and feel the engagement throughout Coruscant space. So the whole battle we're happy. Sorry. Inside his head. His vehicle became his body. The pulses of its engines were the beat of his own heart. Flying, he could forget about his slavery, about his mother, about Geonosis and Jabim, Aragonar and Munalist, and all the catastrophes of this brutal war, about everything that had been done to him and everything he had done, could even put aside for as long as the battle roared around him, the starfire of his love for the woman who waited for him on the world below, the woman whose breath was his only air, whose heartbeat was his only music, whose face was the only beauty his eyes would ever see. He could put all this aside because he was a Jedi, because it was time to do a Jedi's work. Sorry. But today was different. Today wasn't about dodging lasers and blasting droids. Today was about the life of a man who might as well have been his father, a man who could die if the Jedi didn't reach him in time. Anakin had been late once before. Obi-Wan's voice came over the cockpit speakers, flat and tight. Does your droid have anything? R4's hopeless, I think. That last cannon hit cooked his motivator. Anakin could see exactly the look on his former master's face, a mask of calm belied by a jaw so tight that when he spoke, his mouth barely moved. Don't worry, Master. If his beacon's working, R2 will find it. Have you thought about how we'll find the Chancellor if... No, Obi-Wan sounded absolutely certain. There's no need to consider it. Until the possible becomes actual, it is only a distraction. Be mindful of what it is, not what might be. Anakin had to stop himself from reminding Obi-Wan that he wasn't a Padawan anymore. I should have been here, he said through his teeth. I told you I should have been here. Anakin, he was defended by Stas Ali and Shaak Ti. If two masters could not prevent this, do you think you could? Stas Ali is clever and valiant, and Shaak Ti is the most cunning Jedi I've ever met. She's even taught me a few tricks. Anakin assumed he was supposed to be impressed, but General Grievous, Master T, had faced him before Anakin, after Munalist. She is not only subtle and experienced, but very capable indeed. Seats on the Jedi Council aren't handed out as party favors. I've noticed, he let it drop. The middle of a space battle was no place to get into this particular sore subject. If only he'd been here instead of Shaak Ti and Stas Ali, council members or not, if he had been here, Chancellor Palpatine would be home and safe already. Instead, Anakin had been stuck running around the outer rim for months, like some useless Padawan, and all Palpatine had for protectors were Jedi who were clever and subtle. Clever and subtle, he could whip any 10 clever and subtle Jedi with his lightsaber tied behind his back. But he knew better than to say so. Put yourself in the moment, Anakin. Focus. Copy that. Sorry. Master. Anakin said dryly. Focusing now. R2-D2 twittered and Anakin checked his console readout. We've got him, Master. The cruiser dead ahead. That's Grievous's flagship, Invisible Hand. Anakin, there are dozens of cruisers dead ahead. It's the one crawling with Vulture fighters. The Vulture fighters clinging to the long curves of the Trade Federation cruiser indicated by Palpatine's beacon gave it eerily lifelike ripples, like some metallic marine predator bristling with Eldoranian walking barnacles. Oh, that one. He could practically hear Obi-Wan's stomach drop. Oh, this should be easy. Now some of... Hi, Daruma Pereira. Thanks for the support. Oh, that one. He could practically hear Obi-Wan's stomach dropping. Oh, this should be easy. Now some of them stripped themselves from the cruiser, ignited their drives, and came looping toward the two Jedi. Easy note, but it might be fun. Sometimes a little teasing was the only way to get Obi-Wan to loosen up. Lunch at Dex's. Hi, Darumel Perry. Thanks for the support. Very kind of you. Lunch is at Dex's. Says I'll blast 2 for each of yours. R2 can keep score. Anakin, all right, dinner. I promise this time I won't let R2 cheat. No games, Anakin. There's too much at stake. There, that was the tone Anakin had been looking for. A slightly scolding, schoolmasterish edge. Obi-Wan was back on form. Have your droid type beam a report to the temple and send out a call for any Jedi and starfighters. We'll come at it from all sides. Way ahead of you, but sorry, technical difficulties. But when he checked his comm readout, he shook his head. There's still too much ECM. R2 can't raise the temple. And I think the only reason we can even talk to each other is that we're practically side by side. And Jedi beacons? No joy, Master. Anakin's stomach clenched, but he fought the tension out of his voice. We may be the only 2 Jedi out here. Then we will have to be enough. Switching to clone fighter channel. Anakin spun his comm dial to the new frequency in time to hear Obi-Wan say, Oddball, do you copy? We need help. The clone captain's helmet speaker flattened the humanity out of his voice. Copy, Red Leader. Mark my position and form your squad behind me. We're going in. On our way. The droid fighters had lost themselves against the background of the battle, but R2-D2 was tracking them on scan. Anakin shifted his grip on his starfighter's control yoke. 10 vultures inbound high and left to my orientation. More on the way. I have them, Anakin. Wait, the cruiser space shields have dropped. I'm reading 406. Ships incoming. Obi-Wan's voice rose. Tri-fighters coming in fast. Anakin's smile tightened. This was about to get interesting. Tri-fighters first, Master. The vultures can wait. Agreed. Slip back and right. Swing behind me. We'll take them on the slant. Let Obi-Wan go first. With a blown left control surface and a half-crippled R unit, with Palpatine's life at stake. Not likely. Negative, Anakin said. I'm going head-to-head. See you on the far side. Take it easy. Wait for Oddball and Squad 7, Anakin. You could hear the frustration in Obi-Wan's voice as he kicked his starfighter sublights and surged past. Former Master still hadn't gotten used to not being able to order Anakin around. Not that Anakin had ever been much for following orders, Obi-Wan's or anyone else's. Sorrow relate, the digitized voice of the clones, whose call sign was Oddball, sounded as calm as if he were ordering dinner. We're on your right, Red Leader. Where's Red 5? Anakin, form up. But Anakin was already streaking to meet the Trade Federation fighters. Incoming. Obi-Wan's familiar sigh came clearly over the comms. Anakin knew exactly what the Jedi Master was thinking, the same thing he was always thinking. He still has much to learn. Anakin's smile thinned to a grim straight line as an enemy starfighters swarmed around him, and he fought the same thing he always fought. We'll see about that. He gave himself to that battle, and his starfighter whirled and his cannons hammered, and droids on all sides began to burst into clouds, debris, and superheated. This was how he relaxed. This is Anakin Skywalker, the most powerful Jedi of his generation. perhaps of any generation, the fastest, the strongest, an unbeatable pilot, an unstoppable warrior, on the ground, in the air, or sea, or space. There is no one even close. He has not just power, not just skill, but dash, that rare, invaluable combination of boldness and grace. He is the best there is at what he does. Hell no, Jesse W. Hello. He is the best there is at what he does, the best there has ever been, and he knows it. HoloNet features call him the hero without fear, and why not? What should he be afraid of, except fear lives inside him anyway, chewing away the firewalls around his heart. Hi, Jesse W. I'm good. How are you? Fear like I'm good. How are you? Fear lives inside him anyway, chewing away the firewalls around his heart. Anakin sometimes thinks of the dread that eats at his heart as a dragon. Children of Tatooine tell each other of the dragons. Good, thanks. That's good. Thanks for the support. Nice to meet you. Children of Tatooine tell each other of the dragons that live inside the suns, small cousins of the sun dragons that are supposed to live. Hi, Ryan Assad. Nice to meet you. Smaller cousins of the sun dragons are supposed to live inside the fusion furnaces that power everything, from starships to pod racers. But Anakin's fear is another kind of dragon, a cold kind, a dead kind, not nearly dead enough. Not long after he became Obi-Wan's Padawan, all those years ago, a minor mission had brought them to a dead system, one so immeasurably old. What book is this? Star Wars: Revenge of the Sith. Based on the movie screenplay. It's a bit some different to the film, but similar to. One so. Oh, sorry, that's okay. All good. One so immeasurably old that its star had long ago turned to a frigid dwarf of hypercompacted trace metals, hovering a quantum fraction of a degree above absolute zero. Anakin couldn't even remember what the mission might have been. I thought it was Bible. I think some people do have like a Star Wars religion or something, but I don't know if it's satire. It might be just comedy. I don't. I mean, they might believe in Star Wars. I don't know. Frigid dwarf of hypercompacted trace metals hovering a quantum fraction of a degree above absolute zero. Anakin couldn't even remember what the mission might have been, but he'd never forgotten that dead star. It had scared him. Stars can die. It is the way of the universe, which is another manner of saying that it is the will of the Force. Obi-Wan had told him, everything dies. Excuse me, sorry, excuse me. In time, even stars burn out. This is why Jedi form no attachments. All things pass. To hold on to something or someone beyond its time is to set your selfish desires against the Force. That is a path of misery, Anakin. The Jedi do not walk it. That is the kind of fear that lives inside Anakin Skywalker.
See you, darling. The mailman's gone past.
No worries.
And was just
Thank you.
something for me.
No worries. It's fine.
It's security because I got my keys.
No worries. Bye, Mum. Thanks. Bye. That is the kind of fear that lives inside Anakin Skywalker, the dragon of that dead star. It is an ancient, cold, dead voice within his heart that whispers all things die. In bright day, you can't hear it. Battle, a mission, even a report before the Jedi Council can make him forget it's even there. But at night, the walls he has built sometimes start to frost over. Sometimes they start to crack. At night, the Dead Star Dragon sometimes sneaks through the cracks and crawls up into his brain and chews at the inside of his skull. The dragon whispers of what Anakin has lost and what he will lose. The dragon reminds him every night of how he held his dying mother in his arms, of how she had spent her last strength to say, I knew you would come for me, Anakin. The dragon reminds him every night that someday he will lose Obi-Wan, he will lose Padme, or they will lose him. All things die, Anakin Skywalker. Even stars burn out. and the only answers he ever has for those dead cold whispers are his memories of Obi-Wan's voice or Yoda's, but sometimes he can't quite remember them. All things die. He can barely even think about it. But right now he doesn't have a choice. The man he flies to rescue is a closer friend than he'd ever hoped to have. That's what puts the edge in his voice when he tries to make a joke. That's what flattens his mouth and tightens the burn scar high on his right cheek. The Supreme Chancellor has been family to Anakin. Always there, always caring, always free of advice and unstinting aid. A sympathetic ear and a kind, loving, unconditional acceptance of Anakin exactly as he is. The sort of acceptance Anakin could never get from another Jedi, not even from Obi-Wan. He can tell Palpatine things he could never share with his master. He could tell Palpatine things he can't even tell Padme. Now the Supreme Chancellor is in the worst kind of danger. Okay, hi Ryan. And Anakin is on his way, despite the dread boiling through his blood. That's what makes him a real hero. Not the way the HoloNet labels him, not without fear, but stronger than fear. He looks the dragon in the eye. Ryan Assad, I love the book. Yeah, me too. Thank you. He looks the dragon straight in the eye and doesn't even slow down. What religion is this? This is it's Star Wars. I don't know if there's a religion for Jedi. Keep reading, Danny. Okay, thank you. Trying to, boy. Thank you. Sorry. Okay. If, he looks the dragon straight in the eye. Sorry. Sorry. He looks the dragon straight in the eye. Sorry. 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 Oh, thank you. That made my day. All right. He looks in the dragon straight in the eye and doesn't even slow down. If anyone can save Palpatine, Anakin will, because he's already the best. Sorry. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, far. Oh my god. Alright. He looks the dragon straight in the eye, doesn't even slow down. Oh no. Oh my god. Thank you. That was hilarious. Sorry. Oh, oh my god. He looks the dragon straight in the eye and doesn't even slow down. It does later. Oh, doesn't even slow down. If anyone can save Palpatine, Anakin will, because he's already the best and he's still getting better. He locked away behind the walls of his heart. The dragon, that is his fear, coils and squirms and hisses. Because his real fear. Probably. Oh. No, I think you're right. Oh. Because his real fear in a universe where even stars can die is that being the best will never be quite good enough. Obi-Wan's starfighter jolted sideways. Anakin whipped by him and used his forward attitude jets to kick himself into a skew flip. Facing backward to blast the laser of the tri-fighters on his tail. Now there are only Vulture droids left. A lot of Vulture droids. Did you like that one, Master? Thank you. Very pretty. Hi. Owen's cannon stitched plasma across the hull of a swooping vulture fighter until the droid exploded, but we're not through yet. Watch this, and it yep. Anakin flipped his starfighter again and dived, spinning directly through the flock of vulture droids. Their drives blazed as they came around. He led them streaking for the upper clock deck of a laser-scarred separatist cruiser. I'm going to lead them through the needle. Don't lead them anywhere. Obi-Wan's threat display. Thank you. Tallied the vultures on Anakin's tail. 12 of them. 12. First Jedi principle of combat: survive. No choice. Anakin slipped his starfighter through the storm of cannon fire. Come down and thin them out a little. Hi. Obi-Wan slammed his control yoke forward as though jamming it against its impact rest would push his battered fighter faster in pursuit. Nothing fancy, R4, as though the damaged droid was even capable of anything fancy. Just hold me steady. He reached into the Force and felt for his shot. On my mark, break left now. I hope so. I'm gonna get some water. My throat is killing me. All right, sorry. I wasn't sure if you were asking me or Ryan. I'm pretty sure I understand the book. I've read it and I've seen the film. So I'm just getting some water. The water gives me the strength to read. Chug, chug. I don't know what I was up to. He reached. Sorry, the light is terrible. Thanks for your patience. The technical difficulties. Sorry. I don't know what I was up to. Just hold me steady. He reached into the Force and felt for his shot. On my mark, break left now. The shutdown control surface of his left wing turned the left brake into a tight overhead spiral that traversed Obi-Wan's guns across the paths of 4 vultures. Flash, 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 and all 4 were gone. We flew on through the clouds of... This is a long book. I don't think I'm going to get it all in one sitting. 408 pages at least. This is the second. I did one before lunch, and then I did this with it. So it's not going to be done in one sitting. Squirt done. And all 4 were gone. He flew on through the clouds of glowing plasma. He couldn't waste time. I'll take your word for it. I haven't read the whole Bible. I should read it. He flew on through the clouds of glowing plasma. He couldn't waste time going around. Anakin still had 8 of them on his tail. And what was this? Obi-Wan frowned. The cruise looked familiar. The needle, he thought. Oh, please say you're kidding. Anakin's starfighter skimmed only meters above the cruiser's dorsal hull. Cannon misses from the vulture fighters swooping toward him blasted chunks of the cruise out of the cruiser's armor. Okay, R2, where's that trench? His forward screen lit with a topograph of the cruiser's hull. Just ahead. I'm Greek Orthodox, which is like Christian. I also respect other religions. Muslims, cool. Awesome. His forward screen lifted the topograph of the cruiser's hull. Just ahead lay the trench that Obi-Wan had led the TIE fighter into. Anakin flipped his starfighter for a razor-sharp wing over. Sorry, phlegm. Wing over down past the rim. The walls of the service trench flashed past him as he streaked for the bridge tower at the far end. From here, he couldn't even see the minuscule slit between its support struts. With 8 Vulture droids in pursuit, he'd never pull off a slant up the tower's leading edge as Obi-Wan had, but that was all right. He wasn't planning to. His cockpit comm buzzed. Don't try it, Anakin. It's too tight. Too tight for you, maybe. I'll get through. R2-D2 whistled nervous agreement with Obi-Wan. Easy R2, Anakin said. We've done this before. Cannon fire blazed past him, impacting on the support struts ahead. Too late to change his mind now. He was committed. He would bring... I hope not. He would bring his ship through or he would die. I'm glad he's alive. Right now, strangely, he didn't actually care which. Use the Force, Obi-Wan sounded worried. Think yourself through and the ship will follow. What do you expect me to do? Close my eyes and whistle, Anakin muttered under his breath and then said aloud, copy that, thinking now. R2-D2 Squill was as close to terrified as a droid can sound. Glowing letters spied across Anakin's readout. Abort, abort, abort. Sorry. Sorry. Anakin smiled, wrong thought. Obi-Wan could only stare open-mouthed as Anakin's... Obi-Wan could only stare open-mouthed as Anakin's starfighter snapped onto its side. Thank you. Okay. Oh no, sorry. Okay. I'm gonna have a lozenge, sorry. I need to get fitter. It's called Revenge of the Sith. If you've seen the film Star Wars Revenge of the Sith, thank you, Ryan. It makes more sense. Sorry about that. It's a good film. I think it's... Someone said in the chat the book's actually better. But if the book's hard to understand... I think I posted the first part on my channel somewhere. As I said, it's 400 pages. I don't think I can read it all in one sitting. Yep. Sorry. Yeah, that's true. Where am I up to? Anakin... Oh no, that's where I'm up to. Oh. Everyone can only stare open-mouthed as Anakin's starfighter snapped onto its side and scraped through the slit with centimeters. He fully expected one of the struts to knock R2's dome off. The Vulture droids tried to follow, but they were just a hair too big. When the first two impacted, Obi-Wan triggered his cannons into a downward sweep. The evasion maneuvers pre-programmed into the Vulture fighter's droid brain sent them diving away from Obi-Wan's lasers. Oh! Straight into the fireball, expanding from the front of the struts. It's getting warm in here. Expanding from the front of the struts. Obi-Wan looked to find Anakin soaring straight out from the cruiser with a quick snap roll of victory. Obi-Wan matched his course without the flourish. I'll give you the first 4, Anakin said over the comms. My phone is dying. Lucky I have a charger and I'm close to a charging thingy. Good, Anakin, good. Where am I up to? Oh, there I am, I think. Did I lose a page? No, I didn't. The vulture droids tried to follow, but that's a good idea. I might do that. Yes, that's a good idea too. Where is my bookmark? It's a Pokemon card, but it'll do. I'm getting a bottle of water like Ryan said. Thank you. And I've used a Pokemon card as a bookmark. That's a good idea, having a water bottle. Legend of Pokemon. Oh. This book is sponsored by Lips Nightsay. Not really. I'm not getting paid to do this. But I use old bottles of soft drink as my water bottles because I'm cheap or tight or, saving money. So I've got a water bottle now. Thank you for your patience, guys, and thanks for the water idea. That's very kind. You're very nice people. I really appreciate the compassion. Yep. You made my day. That was Daddy Reed or whatever was it he said. Yeah. Thank you. The vulture droid. This is dumb, but do a flip. Yeah, I'm dumb. I don't know how to do a flip. I'm sorry. I'm not the most athletic. You can do one. I don't know how to do a flip. Oh, I hope I didn't break anything. The vulture droids tried to follow, but they were just a hair too big. But when the first two impacted, Obi-Wan triggered his cannons. I'm sorry, I don't know how to do a flip. I suck at gymnastics. The vulture droids tried to follow, but they were just a hair too big. When the first two impacted, Obi-Wan triggered his cannons into a downward sweep. The evasion maneuvers pre-programmed to the vulture fighters' droid brains sent them diving away from Obi-Wan's lasers. Straight into the fireball expanding from the front of the struts. Obi-Wan looked up to find Anakin soaring straight out from the cruiser with a quick snap roll of victory. Obi-Wan matched his course without the flourish. I'll give you the first 4, Anakin said over the comm, but the other 8 are mine. Anakin, all right, we'll split them. As they left the cruiser behind, their sensors showed Squad 7 dead ahead. The clone pilots were fully engaged, looping through a dogfight so tight that their ion trails looked like a glowing ball of string. Oddball's in trouble. I'm going to help him out. Don't. He's doing his job. We need to do ours. Master, they're getting eaten alive. Over. Every one of them would gladly trade his life for Palpatine's. Will you trade Palpatine's life for theirs? No, of course not. But Anakin, I understand. You want to save everyone. You always do, but you can't. Anakin's voice went tight. Don't remind me. Head for the command ship. Without waiting for a reply, Obi-Wan targeted the command cruiser and shot away at maximum thrust. The cross of burn scar beside Anakin's eye went pale as he turned his starfighter in pursuit. Obi-Wan was right. He almost always was. You can't save everyone. His mother's body broken and bloody in his arms, his battered eyes struggling to open. touch of her smashed lips. I knew you would come to me. I missed you so much. That's what it was to not be quite good enough. It could happen any time, any place. He was a few minutes late. He let his attention drift for a single second. If he was a whisker too weak. Any place, any time, but not here and not now. Sorry. He forced his mother's face back down below the surface of his consciousness. Time to get to work. They flashed through the battle, dodging flak and turbo laser bolts, slipping around cruisers to eclipse themselves from the sensors of droid fighters. They were only a few dozen kilometers from the command cruiser, and a pair of tri-fighters whipped across their path, firing on the deflection. And probably me, I don't know, or someone that's lurking, I don't know. He forced his mother's face back down below the surface of his consciousness. Yeah, probably. Time to get to work. They flashed through the battle, dodging flak and turbo laser bolts, slipping around cruisers to eclipse themselves from the sensors of droid fighters. They were only a few dozen kilometers from the command cruiser when a pair of tri-fighters whipped across their path, firing on the deflection. Anakin's sensor board lit up, and R2-D2 shrilled a warning. Missiles. He wasn't worried for himself. The two on his tail were coming at him in perfect tandem. Missiles lack my YouTube app is very rubbish. Sorry. Where am I up to? He wasn't worried for himself. The two on his tail were coming at him in perfect tandem. Missiles lack the sophisticated brains of droid fighters. To keep them from colliding on their inbound vectors, one of them would lock onto his fighter's left drive, the other onto his right. A quick snap roll would make those vectors intersect, which they did in a silent blossom of flame. Oh, that sucks. If you get water and tissue, I think it helps it clean. But, yeah. Damn. Which they did in a silent blossom of flame. Obi-Wan wasn't so lucky. The pair of missiles locked onto his sublights weren't precisely side by side. A snap roll would be worse than useless. Instead, he fired retros. A hose then, maybe? Glass of water from the kitchen and throw it at the thing? I don't know. A snap roll would be worse than useless. Instead, he fired retros and kicked his dorsal jets to half his velocity and knock him a few meters planetward. Good luck, man. Wash your hands afterwards, I reckon, in case they get some on you. The lead missile overshot and spiraled off into the orbital battle. The trailing missile came close enough to trigger its proximity sensors and detonated in a spray of glowing shrapnel. Obi-Wan's starfighter flew through the debris, and the shrapnel tracked him. Little silver spears flipped themselves into his path and latched onto the starfighter's skin, then split and sprouted spider arrays of jointed arms that pried up hull plates, exposing the starfighter's internal works to multiple circular whorls of blade-like ancient mechanical bone saws. There was a problem. I'm hit, Obi-Wan sounded more irritated than concerned. I'm hit. I have visual. Anakin swung his starfighter into closer pursuit. Buzz droids, I count 5. Get out of here, Anakin. There's nothing you can do. I'm not leaving you, Master. Cascades of sparks fountained into space from the buzz droid saws. Anakin, the mission, get to the command ship, get the Chancellor. Not without you, Anakin said through his teeth. One of the buzz droids crouched beside the cockpit, silvery arms grappling with R4. Another worked on the starfighter's nose, while a third skittered toward the ventral hydraulics. The last two of the aggressive little mechs had spidered to Obi-Wan's left wing, working on that damaged control surface. You can't help me, Obi-Wan still maintained his Jedi calm. They're shutting down the controls. I can fix that. Autocorrect sucks. You can't help me, Obi-Wan still maintained his Jedi calm. They're shutting down the controls. I can fix that. Anakin brought his starfighter into line only a couple of meters off Obi-Wan's wing. Steady, he muttered, steady, and triggered a single burst of his right side cannon that blasted the two buzz droids into gouts of molten metal. Along with most of Obi-Wan's left wing, Anakin said, "Whoops." The starfighter bucked hard enough to knock Obi-Wan's skull against the transparasteel canopy. A gust of stinging smoke filled the cockpit. Obi-Wan fought the yoke to keep his starfighter out of an uncontrolled tumble. Anakin, that's not helping. You're right, bad idea. Here, let's try this. Move left and swing under. Easy. Anakin, you're too close. Wait. Obi-Wan stared in disbelief as Anakin's starfighter edged closer. With a dip of its wing, physically slammed the buzz droid into a smear of metal. The impact jolted Obi-Wan again, pounded a deep streak of dent into his starfighter's hull, and shattered the forward control surface of Anakin's wing. Anakin had forgotten the first principle of combat. Again, as usual, you're going to get us both killed. His atmospheric scrubbers drained smoke from the cockpit, but now the droid on the forward control surface of Obi-Wan's starfighter's right wing had peeled away enough of the hull plates that its jointed saw arms could get deep inside. Sparks flared into space along with an expanding fountain of gas that instantly crystallized the hard vacuum. Velocity identical to Obi-Wan's, the shimmering gas hung on his starfighter's nose like a cloud of fog. Blast! No, I didn't know that. I'm in Australia. Is it which is it everywhere around the world? Oh, probably would be. No, I didn't. Thank you for telling me. Velocity identical to Obi-Wan's, the shimmering gas hung. Oh, cool. We're Aussie buddies. No, I didn't know about it. I like Blood Moons. It'd be cool to see it. Oh, free triplet Aussies. Awesome. Yeah, I didn't know. Thank you for telling me. What time does it happen tonight? Blast, Obi-Wan muttered. Cool. Obi-Wan muttered, I can't see. My controls are going. You're doing fine. Stay on my wing. Easier said than done. I have to accelerate out of this. I'm with you. Go. Obi-Wan eased power to his thrusters. My favorite book, I like Barracuda by Christos Tsiolkas. I studied that for university. I like that because I like sports. I like tennis. That one was about swimming though. I like that. Probably my favorite book. How about you guys? You're doing fine. Stay on my wing. Easier said than done. I have to accelerate out of this. I'm with you. Go. Obi-Wan eased power to his thrusters, and his starfighter parted the cloud, but new vapor boiled out to replace it as he went. Is that last one still on my nose? R4, can you do anything? The only response he got came from Anakin. That's a negative on R4. Buzz Droid got him. Do I like books or movies? I like both books and movies. I like the Marvel Cinematic Universe films, and for books, I like comics, and I like the Marvel films, DC films. I like comics, like Watchmen and Spider-Man. Off of books though. What else? Holes by Lewis Satcher's good. Juggling Mandarins by V.M. Jones I like. I like DC films too, like Superman, Batman. Obi-Wan corrected automatically. Wait, they attacked R4, not just R4. One of them jumped over when we hit. Blast, Obi-Wan thought. They're getting smarter. Through a gap torn in the cloud by the curve of his cockpit, Obi-Wan could see R2-D2 grappling with a buzz droid hand to hand. Well, saw arm to saw arm. Even flying blind and nearly out of control through the middle of a space battle, Obi-Wan could not avoid a second disbelief at the bewildering variety of auxiliary tools and aftermarket behaviors Anakin had tinkered onto his starfighter's astromech. Even beyond the sophisticated upgrades performed by the Royal Engineers of Naboo, the little device was virtually a partner in its own right. R2 saw cut through one of the buzz droid's grapplers, sending the jointed arm flipping lazily off into space, and did the same to another. Then a panel opened in R2-D2's side, and its data jack arm stabbed out and smacked the crippled buzz droid right off Anakin's hull. The buzz droid spun aft until it was caught in the blast wash of Anakin's sublights, then blew away faster than even Obi-Wan's eye could follow. Obi-Wan reflected that the separatist droids weren't the only ones that were getting smarter. The data jack retracted, and a different panel opened, this time in R2-D2's dome. A claw. You got the water when you needed the least. I think I needed it when I laughed, so that helped. The data jack retracted and a different panel opened, this time in R2-D2's dome. A claw cable shot from it into the cloud of gas that still billowed from Obi-Wan's right forward wing and pulled back out, dragging a struggling buzz droid. The silver droid twisted and squirmed, and its grapplers took hold of the cable, climbing back along it. Saw arms waving until Anakin popped the starfighter's underjets, and R2 cut the cable, and the buzz droid dropped away, tumbling helplessly through the battle. You know, Obi-Wan said, I begin to understand why you speak of R2 as though he's a living creature. Do you? He could hear Anakin smile. Don't you mean it? Ah, yes, he frowned. Yes, of course, it. Thank it for me, will you? Thank him yourself. Ah, yes, thanks, R2. The whistle came back over the comm header, clear flavor of you're welcome. Then the last of the fog finally dispersed, and the sky ahead was full of ship. More than 1 kilometer from end to end, the vast command cruiser filled his visual field. At this range, all he could see were savannas of sand-colored hulls studded with turbo laser, mountains that lit up space with thunderbolts of disintegrating energy. And that immense ship was getting bigger, fast. Anakin, we're going to collide. That's the plan. Head for the hangar. That's not, I know, first Jedi principle of, no, it's not going to work. Not for me. What? My controls are gone. I can't head for anything. Oh, well, all right, no problem. No problem. Then his starfighter clanged as if he'd... Oh, I don't have enough subscribers or things for money, so yeah, that's okay. But thank you though, that's very kind. I think you need like 1,000 subscribers to get like money. That's very kind. No, it's okay. I do this for fun. But that's really kind of you. You can spend your money on, you know, stuff you enjoy. No, don't be sorry. I'm flattered. I do hope to. I think for YouTube you got to get like 1,000 subscribers. I have like 50. So, but no, that's really sweet. I'm really touched. Thank you. My controls are gone. I can't head for anything. Oh well, all right, no problem. No problem. Then his starfighter clanged as if he'd crashed into a ship-sized gong. Obi-Wan jerked and twisted his head around to find the other starfighter just above his tail, literally just above. Anakin's left lead control surface was barely a hand span from Obi-Wan's sublight thrusters. Anakin had hit him on purpose. Then he did it again. Clang. What are you doing? Just giving you, Anakin's voice came slow, tight with concentration, a little help with your steering. Obi-Wan shook his head. This was completely impossible. No other pilot would even attempt it. But for Anakin Skywalker, the completely impossible had an eerie way of being merely difficult. He reflected that he should be used to it by now. While these thoughts chased each other aimlessly through his mind, he had been staring bleakly at a blue shimmer of energy filling the yawning hangar bay ahead. Belatedly, he registered what he was looking at. He thought, "Oh, this is bad." "Anakin," Obi-Wan began. He tried rerouting. Control passed through his yoke. No luck. Anakin drew up and tipped his forward surfaces down behind the sparking scrap that used to be R4. "Anakin, give me just a second, Master." Anakin's voice had gone even tighter. A muffled thump, then another, louder, and a scrape and a squeal of ripping metal. "This isn't quite as easy as it looks." "Anakin, what?" "The hangar bay. What about it? Have you noticed the shield's still up?" "Really?" "Really, not to mention so close that Obi-Wan could practically taste it." "Oh, sorry, I've been busy." Obi-Wan closed his eyes. Reaching into the Force, his mind followed the starfighter's mangled circuitry to locate and activate the sublight engine's manual test board. With a slight push, he triggered a command normally used only in bench tests: full reverse. Technical difficulties. The cometary tail of glowing debris shed by his disintegrating starfighter shot past him and evaporated. What book will I do after this? I have no idea. Maybe All Star Superman or Batman Hush. Or Barracuda. I have no clue. I improvise a lot. I'm lagging like crazy. Yeah, that's probably my fault. My stream keeps going in and out. I'm using Android. And YouTube on Android's rubbish. Like, it keeps closing a lot. So sorry, that would be my fault. Sorry. Manual test board. With a slight push, he triggered a command normally used only in bench tests: full reverse. The cometary tail of glowing debris shed by his disintegrating starfighter shot past him and evaporated in a cascade of miniature starbursts on contact. Do I read Dogman? I read Captain Underpants. I haven't read Dogman. Is it good? Do you recommend it? I might borrow it or buy it. I don't have a copy, but if you recommend it, I'll read it. But by Dav Pilkey, right? Is it the guy that wrote Underpants? I presume that's the Dogman book that you're talking about. Full reverse. The cometary tail of glowing debris shed by his disintegrating starfighter shot past him. What's the worst book I've ever read? I couldn't finish Batman No Man's Land based on the comics, so probably that one. Like, it wasn't bad, I just couldn't finish it. Good question. How about you guys? The cometary tail of glowing debris shed by his disintegrating starfighter shot past him, evaporating a cascade of miniature starbursts. Death Note. I thought Death Note was. I haven't read it, but I thought it was popular. Is the series good though, or all in general, the book and the series is bad? From your opinion? The cometary tail of glowing debris shed by his disintegrating starfighter shot past him and evaporated in a cascade of miniature starbursts on contact with the hangar shield, which was exactly what was about to happen to him. The only effect of full reverse from his failing engines was to give him more time to see it coming. An Anakin starfighter swooped in front of him, crossing left to right at a steep deflection. Energy flared from his cannons, and the shield emitters at the right side of the hangar door exploded into scrap. The blue shimmer of the bay shield flickered, faded, and vanished just as Obi-Wan came spinning across the threshold and slammed along. A funny book. I'll try look for one. Do you have any recommendations? An Anakin starfighter swooped in front of him, crossing left to right at a steep deflection. Energy flared from his cannons, and the shield emitters at the right side of the hangar door exploded into scrap. The blue shimmer of the bay shield flickered, faded, and vanished just as Obi-Wan came spinning across the threshold and slammed along the deck, trailing sparks and a scream of tortured metal. His entire starfighter, what was left of it, vibrated with the roar of atmosphere howling from the unshielded bay. Massive blast doors ground together like jaws. Thanks, mate. I would. I was thinking that. I'm like, how am I going to survive with a tiny book? But like you said, if I have a gallon of water, I'll be able to cope. I'll be fine. Don't worry about me. Thank you, though. That's very kind. The entire starfighter, what was left of it, vibrated with the roar of atmosphere howling out from the unshielded bay. Massive blast doors ground together like jaws. Another force touch on the manual test board. I don't have one, so pray for me. An oxygen pump. Oh god. Another force touch on the manual test board cut power to his engines, but he couldn't trigger the explosive bolts on his cockpit. Yep, that's true. Oh, yep, or 000, yeah, either one. And his cockpit canopy, and he had a bad feeling that those canopy bolts were the only thing on his craft that weren't about to explode. His lightsaber found his hand, and blue energy flared. One swipe, and the canopy burst away, ripped into space by the hurricane of escaping air. Obi-Wan flipped himself up into the stunningly cold gale and let it blow him tumbling away as the remnants of his battered craft finally exploded. He rode the shockwave while he let the force. Yeah, no, good. I forgot too, actually. When you were saying 911 earlier, I'm like, yeah, that's true. And I thought, oh, yeah, we're in Australia. But yeah, I'm sure either one would help. I think if you call them, it just costs more. I haven't tried 911, so I wouldn't know. But yeah, I think everyone would still assist. Obi-Wan flipped himself into the stunningly cold gale and let it blow him tumbling away as the remnants of his battered craft finally exploded. He rode the shockwave while he let the force right him in the air. He landed cat-footed on the blackened streak. Still, I do. I'm in Doncaster East. How about you guys? He landed cat-footed on the blackened streak, still hot enough to scorch his boots that his landing had gouged into the deck. The hangar was full of battle droids. His shoulders dropped and his knees bent, and his lightsaber came up. Oh, cool. We're Melbourne buddies, or twins, or whatever. Live in Sydney, but might shift to Melbourne. Sydney's nice. My uncle lives there. I go for the Sydney Swans, actually, even though I live in Melbourne in the AFL in football. He came up to angle in front of his face. There were far too many for him to fight alone, but he didn't mind. At least he was out of that blasted starfighter. Anakin slipped his craft toward the hangar through a fountain of junk and flash frozen gas. One last touch of the yoke, twisted. Yeah, that'd be cool. Twisted his starfighter through the closing teeth of the blast doors just as Obi-Wan's canopy went the other way. Obi-Wan's ship was a hunk of glowing scrap punctuating a long smoking skid mark. Obi-Wan himself, beard rimmed with frost, lightsaber out and flaming, stood in a tightening ring of battle droids. Anakin slewed his starfighter into a landing that scattered droids with a particle blast from his sublight thrusters, and for 1 second he was 9 years old again. Cool. Behind the controls of a starfighter in the Feed Royal hangar, his first touch of a real ship's real cannons blasting battle droids. He'd have done the same right here, except that Palpatine was somewhere on this ship. They just might need one of the light shuttles in the hangar to get the Chancellor safely to the surface. A few dozen cannon blasts bouncing around in here could wreck them all. This he'd have to do by hand. One touch blew his canopy, and he sprang from the cockpit, flipping upward to stand on the wing. Battle droids opened fire instantly, and Anakin's lightsaber flashed. R2, excuse me, sorry, R to locate a computer link. The little droid whistled at him, and Anakin allowed himself a tight smile. Sometimes he thought he could almost understand the droid's electrosonic code. Don't worry about us. Fine, Palpatine, go on. I'll cover you. R2 popped out of its socket and bounced to the deck. Anakin jumped ahead of it into a cascade of blaster fire and let the Force direct his blade. Battle droids began to spark and collapse. Get to that link, Anakin had to shout above the whine of blasters and the roar of exploding droids. I'm going for Obi-Wan. No need. Anakin whirled to find Obi-Wan right behind him, in the act of slicing neatly through the brain case of a battle droid. I appreciate the thought, Anakin, the Jedi Master said with a gentle smile, but I've already come for you. This, then, is Obi-Wan and Anakin. They are closer than friends, closer than brothers. Though Obi-Wan is 16 standard years, Anakin's older, they have become men together. Neither can imagine life without the other. The war has forged their two lives into one. The war that has done this is not the Clone Wars. Obi-Wan and Anakin's war began on Naboo, when Qui-Gon Jinn died at the hands of a Sith Lord. Master and Padawan and Jedi Knights together, they have fought this war for 13 years. Their war is their life, and their life is a weapon. Say what you will about the wisdom of ancient Master Yoda, or the deadly skill of grim Mace Windu, the courage of Ki-Adi-Mundi, or the subtle wiles of Shark T. The greatness of all these Jedi is unquestionable. No, it's not the Bible. It's Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. And the cover's over here for some reason. I think it fell off. The book, the novel. Or the subtle wiles of Shark T. The greatness of... of all these Jedi is unquestioned. But it pales next to the legend. I'm getting some water again. I'm so sorry. Far out. It could be the prototype of the Death Star. I have no idea. Palpatine's behind it all. So, spoilers. So yeah, it might have been the same plan. Death Note. I thought you said Death Star. Someone. Oh, Ryan, you're in disguise. Cool. What am I up to? Oh, it pales next to the legend that has grown around Kenobi and Skywalker. They stand alone. Together they are unstoppable, unbeatable. They are the ultimate go-to guys of the Jedi Order. Nice. There's two of you now. A master and an apprentice. They're the ultimate go-to guys of the Jedi Order. When the good guys absolutely positively have to win, the call goes out. Obi-Wan and Anakin. Because my thing timed out and I had to reload. So if he spoke first, that's why you were second. It's stopped a few times because of my crap app. Sorry. Yeah, so it's my fault, not yours. When the good guys absolutely positively have to win, the call goes out. Obi-Wan and Anakin always answer. All good, fam. Whether Obi-Wan's legendary cleverness might beat Anakin's raw power straight up, no rules, is the subject of schoolyard fist. Fights, crash, pool, wriggle matches, and pod chamber stink wars across the Republic. These struggles, always end somehow with the combatants, on both sides admitting that it doesn't matter. Obi-Wan and Anakin and Obi-Wan would never fight each other. They couldn't. They're a team. They're that team, and both of them are sure they always will be. 2. Dooku. The storm of blaster fire ricocheting through the hangar bay suddenly ceased. Clusters of battle droids withdrew behind ships and slipped out hatchways. Obi-Wan's familiar grimace showed past his blade as he let it shrink away. I hate it when they do that. Anakin's lightsaber was already back on his belt. When they do what? Disengage and fall back for no reason. There's always a reason, Master. Obi-Wan nodded. That's why I hate it. Anakin looked at the litter of smoking droid parts scattered throughout the hangar bay, shrugged and snugged his black glove. R2, where's the Chancellor? The little droid's data jack rotated in the wall socket. Its hollow projector eyes swiveled. I fake it till I make it, so, and I like attention, so that's probably. I reckon you guys have a lot of confidence. I reckon you do great at it, because it takes a lot of courage to comment as well, in my opinion, on a public forum. So I reckon you guys could do it if you wanted to. No, it's Revenge of the Sith novel. Definitely not a Bible or Torah. Okay. The little droid's data jack rotated in the wall socket. Its hollow projector eyes swiveled, and the blue scanning blazer built a ghostly image near. I think he's an alt too. I was thinking that. Are you Ryan Tomato Sauce 1234? I bet you are. New Testament of Star Wars. Okay. Where am I up to? A ghostly image. It's definitely him. Ghostly image near Anakin's boot. Sorry, guys. My computer is my smartphone. My app's hopeless. Sorry, guys. Palpatine shackled into a large swivel chair. I believe you, Ryan. I believe you. Even in the tiny translucent blur, he looked exhausted and in pain, but alive. Anakin's heart thumped once painfully against his ribs. It probably will be. He wasn't too late, not this time. He dropped to one knee and squinted at the image. Palpatine looked as if he'd aged 10 years since Anakin had last seen him. Muscle bulged along the young Jedi's jaw. If Grievous had hurt the Chancellor, I probably will have to. If he had so much as touched him, the hand of jointed. I ate lunch already, but thank you. That's why I stopped the first stream. Yeah, I'm not hungry. You guys can eat though if you want. The hand of jointed Durasteel inside his black glove clenched so hard the electronic feedback made his shoulder ache. Sorry. Everyone spoke from over that shoulder. Do you have a location? The image rippled and twisted into a schematic map. No, I've eaten. I had a sandwich for lunch. I'm fine. I'm not hungry. And I'm having a vapor drop too, so I can't really eat while I'm having the vapor drop. Like a throat lozenge. The image rippled and twisted into a schematic map of the cruiser. Far up at the top of the conning spire. That'd be cool. I would get a lot of revenue if I could earn money in laughing. I would be rich. They'll laugh a lot. From at the top of the conning spire, R2 showed a pulsar of brighter blue. In the general's quarters, Obi-Wan scowled. Whoops. Any sign of Grievous himself? The pulsar shifted to the cruiser's bridge. And guards. The whole image rippled again and transformed into an image of the cruiser's general's quarters once more. Palpatine appeared to be alone. The chair sat in the corner of an arc of empty floor, facing a huge curved viewing wall. Anakin muttered, "That doesn't make sense." "Of course it does. It's a trap." Anakin barely heard him. He stared down at his black-gloved fist. He opened his fist, closed it, opened it again. The ache from his shoulder flowed down into the middle of his bicep and didn't stop. His elbow sizzled, and his forearm, his wrist had been packed with red-hot gravel, and his hand was on fire, but it wasn't his hand. Are there too much violent intruders in Melbourne? I don't know. I hope not. Well, yeah, I'll take Ryan's word for it. I'm pretty sheltered, so I don't know. It's good. I'm glad you're okay. Yeah, I think I like Melbourne, but yeah, hopefully there's not too much danger for other Ryan if he moves here. But it wasn't his hand or his wrist or his forearm or his elbow. It was a creation of jointed Duracell and electro drivers. Anakin's lips drew back from his teeth. It hurts. What, your replacement arm? When did you have it equipped with pain sensors? I didn't. That's the point. The pain is in your mind, Anakin. No, Anakin's heart froze over. Machete case. Ah, yeah, that was recent. Yeah. Jeez. How do you still safe put security glass or something? No. Oh, we have lights on at night, like the outside lights. Probably should have security glass. I think we've got good locks. How about you guys? Hope you stay safe as well and security glass as well. I didn't. That's the point. The pain is in your mind, Anakin. No, Anakin's heart froze over. His voice went cold as space. I can feel him. Him? Dooku, he's here. Here on this ship. Ah, Obi-Wan nodded. I'm sure he is. You knew? I guessed. Do you think Grievous couldn't have found Palpatine's beacon? It can hardly be accident. But you're not injured, Ryan. Hopefully. I guessed. Do you think Grievous couldn't have found Palpatine's beacon? It can hardly be accident that through all the ECM, the Chancellor's homing signal was in the clear. This is a trap, a Jedi trap. Obi-Wan laid a warm hand upon Anakin's shoulder, and his face was as grim as Anakin had ever seen it. Possibly a trap set for us personally. Oh, Epping. Epping's a nice area. Doncaster East. Twin. Possibly a trap set for us personally. Anakin's jaw tightened. You're thinking of how he tried to. Oh, nice. You're thinking of how he tried to recruit you on Geonosis before he sent you down for execution. It's not impossible that we'll face that choice. It's not a choice, Anakin rose. His Duracell hand clenched and stayed that way a centimeter from his lightsaber. Let him ask. My answer is right here on my belt. Be mindful, Anakin. The Chancellor's safety is our only priority. Yes, of course. The ice in Anakin's chest forward. All right, it's a trap. Next move. Obi-Wan allowed himself a bit of a smile of his own as he headed for the nearest exit from the hangar bay. Same as always, my young friend. We spring it. Oh, yeah. Greenville. We spring it. I can work with this plan. Anakin turned to his astromech. You stay here, R2. The little droid interrupted him with a wheedling whir. No argument. Stay. I mean it. R2-D2's whistling reply had a distinctly sulky tone. Listen, R2. Someone has to maintain computer contact. Do you see a data jack anywhere on me? The droids seemed to acquiescence, but not before whispering what sounded like it might have been a suggestion where to look. Waiting by the open hatchway, everyone shook his head. Honestly, the way you talk that thing. Anakin started toward him. Careful, Master, you'll hurt his feelings. He stopped in his tracks, a curious look on his face as he was trying to frown and smile at the same time. Anakin, he didn't answer. He couldn't answer. He was looking at an image inside his head. Not an image, a reality, a memory of something that hadn't happened yet. He saw Count Dooku on his knees. He saw lightsabers crossed at the Count's throat. Clouds lifted from his heart, clouds of Jabim, of Aragonor, of Camino, of even the Tusken camp. For the first time in too many years, he felt young as he really was, young and free and full of light. Master, his voice seemed to be coming from someone else, someone who hadn't seen what he'd seen, hadn't done what he'd done. Master, right here, right now, you and I. Yes, he blinked. I think we're about to win the war. The vast hemisphere of the view wall bloomed with battle. Sophisticated sensor algorithms compressed the combat that sprawled throughout the galactic capital's orbit to a view that the naked eye could enjoy. Cruisers hundreds of kilometers apart, exchanging fire at near light speed. Appeared to be practically, I didn't go, no. Hull to hull, joined by pulsating cables of flame. Turbo laser blasts became swift shafts of light that shattered into prismatic splinters against shields or bloomed into miniature supernovae that swallowed ships whole. The invisible gnat clouds of starfighter dog fights became a gleaming dance of shadow moths at the end of Coruscant's beautiful brief spring. Within that immense curve of computer thank you. Computer filtered carnage. Oh no, I'm gonna have some water. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I dropped my phone and I dropped the book. I am all thumbs today. Sorry. I can't even open my water bottle. I'm weak. Sorry. Thank you for your patience. You know, like was it chaotic? You guys are chaotic good. You're chaotic good. I don't know much about the chaotic evil and stuff, but you're definitely chaotic good for sure. I don't know what I'm up to. Gleaming dance shadow on the end of Coruscant's brief spring. Within that immense oh no, of computer filtered carnage. Yeah, dry AF. Pretty dry. I have to drink more water probably. Within that immense curve of computer filtered carnage, the only furnishing was one lone chair, centered in an expanse of empty floor. This was called the General's Chair, just as this apartment atop the flagship's conning spire was called the General's Quarters. With his back to that chair and to the man shackled within it, hands folded behind him, beneath the cloak of silken armor weave stood Count Dooku, stood Lord Darth Tyrannus, Lord of the Sith. He looked upon his master's handiwork, and it was good. More than good, it was magnificent. Even the occasional tremor of the deck beneath his boots, as the entire ship shuddered under enemy torpedo and turbo laser blast, felt to him like applause. Behind him sounded the initiating hum of the intra-ship holocom, which crackled into a voice both electronic and oddly expressive, as though the man spoke through a droid's electrosonic vocabulary. Lord Tyrannus, Kenobi, and Skywalker have arrived. Yes, Dooku had felt them both in the Force. Drive them toward me. My lord, I must express once more my objections. Dooku turned. From his commanding height, he stared. Because my stream keeps going in and out. It's ended. The YouTube went out like 10 times, so I had to restart it 10 times. That's why it keeps saying that. So that's my bad again. Apologies. Dooku turned from his commanding height. He stared down. Hi, Mum. He stared down at the blue-scanned hollow image of invisible hands. Commander, your objections have been noted already, General. Leave the Jedi to me. But driving them to you also sends them directly toward the Chancellor himself. Why does he remain on this ship at all? He should be hidden. He should be guarded. We should have had him out systems hours ago. Matters are so, Count Dooku said, because Lord Sidious... Well, he did something. Lord Sidious did something. Lord Sidious wishes them so. Should you desire to press your objections, please feel at liberty to take them up with him. I don't believe that will be necessary. Very well then, confine your efforts to preventing support troops from boarding. Without their pet clones to back them up, no Jedi is a danger to me. The deck shuddered again, more sharply, followed by a sudden shift. in the vector of Homer of the cruiser's artificial gravity that would have sent a lesser man stumbling. I'm okay, thank you.
Okay.
A lesser.
Do you want both?
I'm all good, thank you. Yeah, I'm fine. It's okay. That's all right. Hello. Lesser. Thank you though. Um, lesser man stumbling with the force to maintain the dignified solidity of his posture. The effect on Dooku was confined to the lift of one eyebrow. And may I suggest that you devote some attention to protecting this ship. Having it destroyed with both you and me aboard might put something of a cramp in the war effort, don't you think? It is already being done, my lord. Does my lord wish to observe the progress of the Jedi? I can feed the security monitors onto this channel. Thank you, General. That will be welcome. Grievous, gracious as ever, my lord. Grievous out. Count Dooku allowed himself a near invisible smile. His inviolable courtesy, the hallmark of a true aristocrat. Thank you. That's very kind. His inviolable his inviolable courtesy, the hallmark of a true aristocrat, was effortless, yet somehow it always seemed to impress the common rabble, as well as those with the intellect of common rabble, regardless of accomplishment or station. Like, for example, hi Ryan, thank you. That repulsive cyborg Grievous. He sighed. Grievous had his uses. Not only was he an able field commander, but he would soon make a marvelous scapegoat upon whom to hang every atrocity of this sadly necessary war. Someone had to take that particular fall, and Grievous was just a creature for the job. It certainly would not be Dooku. This was, in fact, one purpose of the cataclysmic battle outside, but not the only one. The blue scanned image before him now became miniatures of Kenobi and Skywalker, as he had seen them so many times. Sorry, my stream ended and I had to go to the bathroom. I didn't want to stream my stream in the bathroom. Yeah, sorry about that. 4:03 p.m. Is Sydney different time to Melbourne? It's like 2 hours different, or is it the same? I can't remember. 3:05. Yep. Okay, so Sydney's the same. I've been there, I just forgot. The blue scanned image before him now became miniatures of Kenobi and Skywalker, as he had seen them so many times before, shoulder to shoulder, lightsabers whirling. I don't really have a schedule. I stream when I feel like. Last few days I've been too lazy. But usually I stream. I'm looking for work at the moment, so I'm not currently working, so I can stream whenever, but I don't really have a schedule. I should have a schedule. Probably afternoon. I'm usually sleeping in the morning. I have to get up earlier and go to bed earlier than I do. Bad habits I have. I have bad habits. I'm not Yoda. Lightsabers whirling as they enthusiastically dismantled droid after droid after droid, feeling as if they were winning, while in truth, they were being chivied exactly where the Lords of the Sith wanted them to go. Such children they were. Dooku shook his head. It was almost too easy. This is Dooku, Darth Tyrannus, Count of Sereno. Once a great Jedi Master, now an even greater Lord of the Sith. Dooku is a dark colossus, bestriding the galaxy. Nemesis of the corrupt Republic. No worries. Thanks, Ryan. Have a good one. Aura Flame of the Principal Confederacy of Independent Systems. He is a very personification of shock and awe. He was one of the most respected and powerful Jedi in the Order's 25,000-year history. Yet at the age of 70, Dooku's principles would no longer allow him to serve a republic in which political power was for sale to the highest bidder. He said farewell to his former Padawan, Qui-Gon Jinn, now legendary master in his own right. He said farewell to his close friends on the Jedi Council, Mace Windu, the ancient Master Yoda. He said farewell to the Jedi Order itself. He is numbered among the lost, the Jedi who renounced by my friend. They announced their fealty to the Order and resigned their commissions of Jedi knighthood in service. Sorry. Sorry about that. What? What am I up to? In service of ideals higher than even the Order itself professed, the Lost 20, as they've been known since Dooku joined the number, are remembered with both honor and regret among the Jedi. The images sculpted from bronzium stand enshrined in the temple archives. These bronzium images serve as melancholy reminders that some Jedi have needs the Order cannot satisfy. Dooku has retired to his family estate, the planetary system of Serennu, assuming his hereditary title as its count made him one of the wealthiest beings in the galaxy. Amid the unabashed corruption endemic to the Republic, his immense wealth could have brought the allegiance of any given number of senators. He could perhaps have brought control of the Republic itself. Scream in the bathroom. Scream in the bathroom was a pun. I attempted a pun. All right. But a man of such heritage, such principle, could never stoop to be lord of a garbage heap, chief of a horde of scavengers squabbling over scraps. The Republic to him. I'm gonna have a break from this dream. My throat's tired. Thanks. I really appreciate the support. You guys are awesome. See you soon. Thanks. Bye.